Hey guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm April.
And we're with Midwest Adventure Life, and today we are taking a ride in an all-new Slingshot R. Are you ready?
Ready to roll.
Let's go. All right, so what'd you think of the ride? First time in a Slingshot.
It was amazing. I absolutely love the way it takes the corners. I love the open air. Very unique, not like anything I've ever driven before.
Definitely different. So we're gonna go into some details, some technical details, and a little review about the all-new Slingshot R. So let's dive in. So the Slingshot R starts at just about $31,000 with the equipped the way it is. It comes with a 203 horsepower ProStar motor, which is more horsepower than the predecessor of that used to have the Chevrolet motors or the GM motors under the hood. Now it is a specific Polaris motor that pushes 203 horsepower, and it will get you to 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. So it's definitely not a slouch on the road at all. Has about a fuel capacity of about 10.5, 11 gallons of fuel. It's fairly friendly on fuel, depending obviously on how you drive it. So we'll go through some of the characteristics on how it handles. This one is specifically, they call the auto drive, and we'll talk about the transmission as well as some of the motor and just some of the features that this unit has. So to get under the hood on this, it's a little unique. There's a lever right here. You're gonna go ahead and lift up on it, and then this comes forward towards you. So come around inside here. The 203 2-liter ProStar motor. Again, the previous Slingshots had a GM motor that was specific to the earlier models. This puts out more horsepower. Polaris went to a proprietary motor, and overall they've had really good success with the motor. This machine weighs just about 1,600 pounds, so the power to weight ratio is in your favor. Again, it pushes it to 0 to 60 miles an hour in well under 5 seconds. And this specific unit is geared to a 5-speed auto drive. When these first came out, they were only available in a manual transmission. The audience didn't always equate to the right people being able to drive manual transmission nowadays. So they came out with what they call an auto drive. If you haven't driven one of these before, it drives very unique. Imagine driving a manual transmission but letting somebody else shift it for you. That's kind of how this works. It doesn't have the room underneath it for traditional automatic transmission. So the auto drive uses solenoids inside to actually shift the transmission for you. So it feels a little unnatural, like a normal vehicle when you drive it. There's a little bit of a lag during the shift. After you drive it for the first 10 miles and you learn it that it's normal, it drives nice, but it's definitely very, very different than what you would imagine a standard automatic transmission to drive like. But the reason they did that, again, was because of the room underneath the vehicle and to accommodate a standard automatic transmission. So the drivability is very unique in how it shifts. That's one thing I will point out. Depending how you drive it, there's 2 modes. There's Slingshot mode and Comfort mode. It will change the shift points. It will change dynamics in the steering, and it will change how it feels. But the first time you drive it, it does feel different. It feels like something you've never driven before, but the whole experience this is something you've never driven before. 1-wheel drive in the back, ton of power coming at you in the back. But an absolute blast to drive. With this wide footprint, the wide front tires and the wide traction tire in the back, you can really throw this thing into the corners and have a lot of fun. So coming back to the back, you've got a 305-inch tire wrapped on a 20-inch rim, getting that 203 horsepower to the ground, and it does a good job. It is belt driven. I've heard comments about this belt slipping. I've never experienced that. There was a question about this slipping. No experience in that. It is wrapped with Brembo brakes all around being 3 of them. It's a unique ride with the 1 tire in the back and the 2 up front, but it's very comfortable, and we'll talk about that when we jump inside. So it's wrapped with awesome LED lights. When you hit the brakes, you've got a nice center line here for visibility, and just an overall awesome look back here. I think these things are really sharp. These are functional roll bars in the event of an unforeseen collision. Here is your fuel fill there, and let's jump inside and we'll talk about the interior. So when you're sitting inside, I'm over 6 feet. I have absolutely ton of leg room. You can move the seat forward and back. It's actually very comfortable. I could really see taking this on a long road trip for the day, or just get out and put on some miles and be really comfortable. You do have paddle shifters here if you so decide. You've got cruise control. You've got different menu features here. You've got navigation. You've got Bluetooth on your phone. You can control your audio here. It's really well thought out. The steering wheel feels nice. It's very comfortable. You do have good view from your mirrors. I will tell you, it sounds really weird, but I feel like there's actually a significant blind spot on your right side when you're not used to it. Once you kind of figure out how the thing drives and where it sits on the road, you'll get over that. But there is a weird blind spot the first few times you drive it. This is your automatic trans. You've got reverse, neutral, drive, and then if you go into manual, that's where you're going to use your paddles. And again, like we talked about earlier, this is not a traditional transmission, so you'll notice there's no park. Think of this as a manual trans, that there's a little guy, a little elf inside shifting for you, because that's kind of how it feels like. And so you put it in neutral and use your parking brake. The ride command here system, you've got Bluetooth, you've got audio, you've got all your functions in here. You can change the brightness, obviously, everything that you would imagine in here. And then you do have storage here in this compartment. It's actually a significant amount.
There's also a charging port in there too.
There is also a charging port in there. Thank you, Charlie. The windshield, while it feels low, it does actually provide protection. And even at night with bugs, you'll notice that you really don't get hit with bugs. So the other question is, what about storage? Well, there's not a ton of it on here, but I'll show you where it's at. So as far as storage goes, if you want to come here, we've got a lever. You're going to flip the seat forward. We've got same on both sides, and then there's actually a decent amount of storage. If you want to zoom in here, you can see. Charlie, just pull it towards you. Yeah, there's a decent amount of storage. You can put a book bag or some small luggage in here. 25-pound limit, and then you can actually lock it too if you want to. There is a key there. So that's a very quick, in a nutshell, review on the Slingshot. Absolute 2 thumbs up. If you haven't driven one, you gotta drive one. Ironically enough, on my way home from Nielsen Enterprises, who let us take this out for the day, I passed 2 Slingshots on my ride home, which I've never seen, and they're waving at you like they're your new best friends, because you don't see many of these on the road, and it's super exciting. They have a following for sure. They ride awesome. There's nothing comparable. I've ridden snowmobiles, ATVs, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, motorcycles. This is just very unique, an absolute ton of fun in the turns. Take it out on the country roads and you will truly enjoy yourself. So if you're interested in one of these, by all means, please check out Nielsen Enterprises. They are, no games, one of the best power sport dealerships in the Midwest. So make the trip if you're not from the area and check out the all-new Polaris Slingshot. It's an absolute ton of fun. So hope you enjoyed the video. Here's some further clips on the road trip and some video footage of us on the road. So thanks again. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the road.